all say yes, please, to 30 more minutes of this Champions League encounter between Real Madrid and Chelsea. If Kevin Doyle, it can be like that second 45 minutes we just saw there.
Fabulous, yeah. For the neutral, I suppose either set of fans would be disappointed with some of the defending that went on. Rudiger here gets a free run at it. No one marking him. The word zonal marking again. Never works. Free run, good header, but yeah, fabulous to watch.
His first ever European goal, by the way.
Yeah, and Timo Werner here, like you're thinking, hit it. Fabulous play from Chelsea. You couldn't see anyone. You couldn't see Madrid getting out of this game at this stage. Chelsea were so on top, all over the pitch. Really at it. Tuchel talking about being more physical, more energetic, and they surely were. But then this, 36 years of age, Modric, Stephen, that ball is just as good as you will ever see.
You're looking for a player to produce a bit of quality, and that is as good quality you're ever going to see as a pass. Absolutely sensational. This is an unbelievable chance for Pulisic to win in. The second one he's had as well, going into the last few dying seconds of the game, and it's just been end to end. Like Madrid done so well to stay in it, and you're looking for your big players to stand out and make a big deal. Modric's pass is just sublime, but Chelsea, they had 4 or 5 more chances that they could have been dead and buried.
And don't worry, Kevin, I didn't tell anybody who you said the only reason Modric used the outside of his foot is because he had no left foot. Stephen Kelly, Kevin Doyle beside you was lamenting the fact that this game of football almost encapsulates the game itself, the way one team can look like it has all the energy and then just one incident happens and it all changes.
It is. It's just moments of brilliance from wonderful, skilled players, and Chelsea, younger team, energy, pushing, and then all of a sudden Real Madrid are back in it. Camavinga, I think, has been excellent in the middle of the park when it made a really crucial foul for just then dying moments of the half to stop Chelsea breaking, and then intercepts and puts Vinicius Junior through, and what a ball in for Benzema. But it's just been, for Benzema, still going, still energy, wonderful finish, and Real Madrid in the ascendancy now again.
But there is only that one goal in it, Kevin, and when you're in situations like that and you're playing in this crazy game where it is end-to-end and action-packed, does that give you a bit of a boost?
Oh, listen, I just can't believe how much energy Real Madrid have showed in injury time. Up to the 80th minute, Chelsea were on top. It looked like only one team going to win it. Real Madrid get that goal, it all changes, goes into extra time, and they've come alive again. And you think they're an older team, lots of miles on those legs. Who pops up with the goal? Benzema. They've looked stronger in that first half of extra time. Chelsea, listen, the fresher legs, they have to go for it, but that leaves its own problems. There's plenty of speed still in that Madrid team to break again. It's going to be really interesting. They're going to get a chance though. Chelsea will get a chance, like they did just before the 90th minute. They had a couple of opportunities. They'll get a chance here to bring this to penalties, whether they take it or not.
OK. Also, what sums a lot of that Real Madrid performance up is that you see 34-year-old Karim Benzema there. He's just scored yet another winner, hobbling around the pitch, having played the full 120 minutes. Luka Modric, 36 years of age, full 120 minutes as well.
Honestly, you got to give credit to these players, their attitudes, their peak fitness. It's unbelievable. Modric made a tackle towards the end of that game, went in for a 50-50 with Alonso, wins it, then continues on. He'd have to sprint in 50 yards, and you're talking that's 190 minutes of football. Absolutely sensational game. Madrid should have been dead and buried. Chelsea should have won it. They were in real time. They had opportunities, had chances. But to come back and look the stronger side in extra time is just phenomenal. But the goals they scored, brilliant. Absolutely amazing game to watch.
You're Kevin. Yeah, you're a fan of his,
no,
Kevin.
I am. I really am. He does. Well, listen, he gets plenty of credit, but no one puts him in the Klopp or, that sort of world-class manager. And he is a world-class manager. He's probably the best around. He's the only one of 2 or 3, I think, who've got to won 3 Champions League finals, one as a player. You see tonight, the managers on the touchline. Tuchel was like a maniac for 121 2 minutes. Every ball that went out, if you're playing for Chelsea and you're looking at your manager, if someone bad touch, he's spinning around and shouting at the bench. Whereas the camera never goes to Ancelotti because he doesn't do anything. He stands there, whether they're winning or losing, cool, calm, collected, shows on the pitch. And I love Chelsea. It was 122 minutes, or Real Madrid, 122 minutes. Chelsea got a throw in. And still, Real Madrid put 3 fellas up pressed, delayed Chelsea by about 30 seconds. That vital last minute where we're going to lump it into the box, stopped them doing it. Right then when you think everyone behind the ball or whatever, they didn't do it, they kept going. He was fantastic, Benzema, got cramp. He looked like a 20-year-old running around there in the injury time. I think Chelsea deserved it in the 90 minutes, but in the extra time, Real Madrid deserved it.
Will they be kicking themselves?
They will be, because the opportunities they had, like they think of the header Havertz had, it's point blank with the goalkeeper. Keeper's great save, but you've got to be hitting the corners. Pulisic, when he comes on, it's those two chances. It's difficult because one's a volley over his left shoulder, the other one again, but you kind of feel within the 90 minutes before the end of the game they had the opportunity to win it. But then you said Luka Modric with that pass, and you think that just galvanises the whole thing for Real Madrid. It just spurs them on, gives them a bit of momentum, and you can just see the lift in the team. But that young lad Camavinga, he comes on in the middle of the park. I think he was absolutely sensational. 19 years of age, he makes a tackle in the first half to stop Chelsea breaking an almost potential goal situation, and to show that calmness and that ability to see a situation knowing that he has to take a card. Younger players don't do that, and then he steps up in the extra time as well. But just wonderful game to watch. Chelsea so unlucky to come at it. You give the credit for what they've done, to be 3-1 behind from the first leg and to come at the game like they did today. Amazing. But Real Madrid, the piece of skill, the goals they score, it adds another piece of their history. Amazing.
And when you think about it, actually, because people are thinking not that many teams go to the Bernabeu and come away with results. It was only 2019 when Ajax actually came from 2-1 down and won 4-1 there. So many of those Real players would have been on the pitch then as well. So psychologically, presumably, that was in the back of their heads. Well,
it looked like it for 90 minutes, didn't it? It was the exact opposite of the game at Stamford Bridge. Madrid were the ones on top, hungrier, winning everything, breaking quickly. Tonight was Chelsea. And Chelsea will be kicking themselves because they threw that away. They had umpteen chances to win that game. Poor defending for the goals conceded. And they were the team on top, and it was going to be a famous victory for them. And that's what I suppose I got on about Tuchel being frustrated on the sideline. I think that's what came out. He knew they had Real Madrid there and they let it slip.
There was so much to look through, particularly in the second half and in that extra time. But we picked out what we figured were probably the key goals. So that was the equaliser near the end of 90 minutes and then the winner in the end for Real Madrid.
Yeah, this piece of play here, the young lad Camavinga intercepts it, puts Vinicius Jr. in the line, and he drives into the box, gets his head up, and there's a lot of movement, but he just stands the ball up for Benzema, who peels off the shoulder, and Benzema does the rest, powers his head into that far corner. But the play from the young lad Camavinga, I think, is wonderful. He reads it, intercepts it, and then Vinicius Jr., who's been so lively throughout the game, but when he's got the opportunity, just hasn't delivered just that final pass. But this time, it's absolutely perfection, straight on his head. Benzema's not going to miss from there. He had a chance earlier with a header to hit the bar, but this one's wonderful. Even how he flicks the ball over to him is excellent. Mendy's going the wrong way, can't adjust his feet. It's a fantastic piece of play from Real Madrid to catch Chelsea on the hop, and that's the game over for them. But it was just the pace in which they broke it down, and the decision from Ancelotti to change Casemiro for the young lad Camavinga, I think was brilliant.
It was like a new game. That extra time, Chelsea really started slow, and Madrid started on fire. And this goal, one of the key goals, Modric all night. We were picking out pieces maybe to show you after the game. We didn't need to show anything other than this. It was just world class. 36, still playing for Real Madrid. Still one of the best players on the pitch tonight. But we were joking about, doesn't have a left foot. You don't need a left foot when you can do that. That was just, talking about art in football, and we laughing people talking about sometimes, well, that is art. That was just magic. And still a good finish at the end of it. But fabulous to see him still doing that. He's such a likeable player to watch. I think everyone's sort of favourite player. Still doing it. 120 minutes, getting around the pitch, winning tackles. He can't really tackle, but he won a few important ones near the end of the night. So, yeah, joy to watch him. You'd be happy for the likes of him. Sometimes you're a neutral fan, you're watching it, you want the likes of Modric to go get to a Champions League final because he mightn't have many more chances.
No, that's true. And it's interesting, obviously, Karim Benzema, because he has been the man at the moment. He stepped up with the winner. When it comes to, I'm actually going to ask the forward this question, because when it comes to who you're playing alongside, obviously makes a difference. And obviously, people will wonder, why is Benzema coming up with all these goals now? He obviously played alongside Cristiano Ronaldo for so long with Real Madrid. Yeah. Now, apparently they got on very, very well and they were a good combination. But if you have a look at the stats, the number that he scored when he was playing with Ronaldo and once Ronaldo had left, it's huge. Yeah,
listen, you can't. Someone has to score the goal. So if Ronaldo's there scoring them all, Benzema isn't going to score as many goals. There's only so many goals can be scored in a match. But he's been, throughout his career, talking about him tonight before, and how he's changed his game and how he's better now than he was when he should have been when he was younger. It looks like he takes football more seriously, maybe his lifestyle, or he's off the pitch, I don't know. In the last couple of years, he's been given the captain's armband. His body shape, his fitness, how hungry he was there. Right up to the 100, how fit he looked up to 120 minutes. He got cramp in his calf, came back on. And and his finishing's always been there. He's always scored goals every season. He's always been a top player, but now he's just brought himself to that next level with important goals. And yeah, you're watching, you're thinking 34 years of age. He looks like he's plenty of years left, and seeing the strikers Real Madrid have been linked with this summer and who they're potentially going to sign, you wonder what they're going to do with him if they sign them.
Yeah, because we thought Raul's record looked so untouchable for so long. Obviously, Ronaldo's gone past that, and now you see that how close Benzema at 34 is getting to it.
You can't see him slowing down either. Like the pace he played that game, he was frantic. He was everywhere. His energy was abundant. He was still causing, like Kevin alluded to at the end of the game, when they pressed that throw in, and that was Benzema. After he'd been kicked and been down for an injury, he was still getting up and running, chasing the goalkeeper down. And his goals have been excellent. Like Kevin said, he's always had goals in him. Maybe you come a bit, I don't know, when you have someone like Ronaldo on the team, the pressure's off you and you take your foot off the gas, you don't try as hard, and only so many goals can be scored in a game. But now it's fully focused on him. He's the pivotal point. He's the one they look to. He's the one they go to all the time now. So he's getting loads of goals. When
they first got Vinicius, when they signed him, he was that bad that he was saying, don't pass him the ball. And now the two of them, they are, he was telling the other players on the pitch, don't give him the ball. So how that's changed in the last year. The two of them together have scored more than half Real Madrid's total goals this season. He's assisting them for a lot of his goals. They seem to have a really good partnership. Not about Ronaldo and his partnership, the two of them seem to have a really good partnership. And again tonight, looking for him, fabulous ball from Vinicius into him, and really good header. You expect him to score that. Disappointed, I think he didn't score one already from a cross in the first or in the second half. So, but yeah, just older player, you can sort of relate a bit more. I know we're retired, but you can see someone you think they're going to be slowing down as they get to that age, and he's, fit as a flea, keep him going, and a few seasons left him yet. Whether they have the legs or to go on and win the actual Champions League, going to be an interesting semi-final now. But they left a lot on that pitch there tonight. But deserved to win that game in how they went about injury time. They were poor in 90 minutes, let's be honest about it. They should have lost in 90 minutes, but how they came out in injury time and were the better team for it. It was good to see. I think to be able to come back the way they did in that game, and then it's just that one moment of brilliance, having players of that quality to be able to turn on. And Modric, that pass, that changes the game for that. That one simple piece of brilliance changes the game, and then they're on the front foot, they're pushing, they got galvanised, they're getting at Chelsea, and Chelsea are a bit shell-shocked by what's happened because they feel like the game should be dead and buried by then.
Yeah, because there were all those chances that they had throughout the game, but particularly in that second half, and also in extra time as well. Yeah, in extra time, right up to the 94th minute or wherever we went in normal time. It was I've lost so many of them. Evers came on, should have got a couple. We're going to show, I'd say, about 2 minutes here of Chelsea attacking play and when they should have done better. They were dangerous from every corner. Rudiger should have actually in the first half. We're not going to show it. Should have scored from a chance very similar to the one he did do. But yeah, they were counter-attacking, as I said, very much like the home game, what Real Madrid did to them. They seemed to, at will, to get forward and create chances time after time. Corners, good save. They were putting pressure on players up the pitch. Actually made changes that seemed to take the impetus from them. They took Timo Werner off. I think he was playing quite well. Obviously scored his goal, looked dangerous. It seemed to be bad decisions. Of the decisions made from both managers, you'd imagine Ancelotti he did get the better ones. He changed the game. He made a couple of substitutions that changed the game, and the opposite happened for Chelsea. But as you're seeing from these clips, this is the 93rd minute. Pulisic had two identical ones. Yeah. Should have done better with.
Difficult finishes, aren't they, though? The one with his left foot is harder, but when he gets the second one that comes in, you can't think about Carver Hall for the second one. He flies in and just does everything to try and get a block, and he doesn't get the touch. But, the headers, Havertz has had 2 headers in the box that are not central to goal, not far off it. Every time Chelsea delivered in the box, they got the ball in there from a corner, they looked, Real Madrid looked vulnerable, they looked dangerous. Jorginho just drops to him. That's the one, literally. Its touch is perfect. He gets it. Alba is flying in with trying to block on, but he just hooks his shot almost like the way James did for the corner they actually scored from after in the first half. But you just kind of feel Chelsea will be ruined. The amount of chances they create in the first half, we said continue on like that, but try and create more chances because they didn't really create many. Second half, they had an abundance of chances, just weren't taking it. And then you look to, where's that striker or where's the person scoring the goals? So Lukaku not there. Not that he's been great for them, but the manager can't have done any more than put the players on the pitch and ask them to get in those positions.
Well, Kevin suggests that he's made the wrong changes.
I don't know about the wrong changes, because when you see Pulisic gets himself in those positions, and Werner, we spoke about before, like, he almost missed that chance. He was lucky, I think, that went into him, because he's chopped inside, he's done really well to create it, but the keeper gets a touch on it. But the keeper doesn't get a touch on it, the person on the line clears it. So you kind of feel he's not the most fluent striker at the moment. He's not scoring loads of goals. He did well the weekend. He gets himself in great positions. But they did today. They got themselves in great positions, great opportunities, one-on-one situations. They pulled off some good saves, but the keeper wasn't testing dramatically loads. It was like, and even the goals they did score, there's a bit of luck involved with them. The one from Werner, it comes off and bounces through to Mount, he gets a goal. There's nothing really, really clear-cut that they really test the goalkeeper, and that's where they're going to be looking back saying, if we can be more clinical. I think Tuchel talked about this 2 seasons ago, how on 70% of the pitch, they're excellent. The last 20-30% is where they've struggled, and this has been the same again.
So do they need somebody new? Do they need somebody new up front?
They spent 100 million on one last summer and they don't play him. And he has a mysterious Achilles tendon injury at the moment. No, listen, the owners or whatever, the club went out and signed that player for them because they missed chances, because Timo Werner missed a lot of chances last year, and they bought sort of a guaranteed 25 goal a season player.
Well, obviously they're going to have different owners now.
Yeah, which didn't work out. Lukaku didn't work out for them. They snatch at a lot of their chances. They don't finish them well. You look at Real Madrid tonight, we don't have a show of Real Madrid's chances because there was just their goals pretty much. They finish sort of like how their manager is on the touchline, cool, calm and collected. They just score them. Chelsea finish a bit like their manager is, it's all, snatch and jump around, and it feels like the manager on the touchline rubs off on them, that they're thinking about what his reaction is going to be when I shank this one wide.
Does that manager have that much? What he's doing on the sideline, does that actually affect what you're doing on the pitch?
It would have annoyed me seeing my manager. Listen, there was a couple of, I think someone miscontrolled that went out for a throw-in.
Lots of cheek in the first half.
Yeah, it was just, listen, it happens, and it happens. You don't need to see, you've messed up. You don't need to see your manager jump around and gestate to the bench, as if you've, shot someone or whatever. You want your manager to be cool. We're playing Real Madrid here. I want to see you cool, calm and collected, that you have everything under control. And he looked tonight like, it's the worst I've seen him on the touchline. He looked tonight like he'd lost the run of himself a bit, and that he panicked, and he was the one that was really nervous. It seemed to rub off to me on the players. Maybe I'm just reading too much, but on the players, how many chances they had and how they snatched at him. Jorginho at the end snatched. You don't expect Jorginho to snatch at that. I know he's a centre half, but he's a quality player. You don't expect him to snatch at situations like that. So I don't know. Again, going back, I just like the way Ancelotti conducts himself. It's the way a top class manager to me would conduct himself majority of the time on the touchline.
You were going to say you played under, were you going to say a similar manager?
When we played under Trapattoni, here's a manager that was literally full of just constantly jumping around, trying to kick every ball, and even for a man of his age, he was always like, and even something would happen, he'd turn at the bench and be screaming to the lads on the bench in Italian and wherever it was, just because he was so involved in it. And you kind of look at the modern managers now, you look at Klopp, you look at Pep, you look at Conte, these are managers at the top of the game, and that's how they conduct themselves, because they try and kick almost every ball, and from a fan's perspective, they want to see people involved. But Ancelotti does have this just calmness about him, and his team play like that moment where Modric gets one opportunity, but you've got players of a similar mentality to the manager where they get in situations and they just personify coolness. They know they get opportunity, they're going to take it, they're going to make that pass. And I think Madrid, they did that. They rode their luck for a lot, and Chelsea had so many opportunities. They really did. They squandered a lot, and they will be kicking themselves, absolutely kicking themselves going after this game, because the 90 minutes they should have won it. But Real Madrid, the Champions League, that's what they do. They go and win games.
Thomas Tuchel did say before the match, and there have been slight suggestions that he's great for making excuses. He did tee up the fact that in the Premier League at the moment you're only allowed to make 3 substitutions, whereas throughout the rest of Europe you can make 5. And he was saying that put English teams at a massive disadvantage.
Well, they had plenty of energy for 90 minutes, and not being able to make 3 substitutions in the Premier League didn't make him miss those chances.
No, but did they have the energy, he might argue, for the 120? Well,
he could make his 5 or his subs tonight. I thought he made the wrong decisions, and maybe it was just Ancelotti made the right ones. No, listen, I don't. They have such big squads, Chelsea. They spend an awful lot of money. I don't feel sorry for them. I don't feel sorry for the players. They have fabulous masseuses, fabulous facilities. They all recover quickly. They all eat the right things. They're not out partying or nightclubbing and not recovering right. They're all top athletes. I don't buy into that much at all, to be honest. I think that's an excuse. That's giving the players an excuse before the game even started. You can tell them they're the fittest, strongest players and they can run for 120 minutes. Don't be telling them that they're tired and they have to play a game next week, or the Premier League pushes them too hard, or we don't get enough break. That annoys me to hear it. Don't play in the Premier League, or don't manage in the Premier League, or whatever, if you're that worried about your recovery times or having to play all these games.
No, I suppose that particularly sinks in when you see the few men in their mid-30s hopping around after winning the game for Real Madrid. If we look at a couple of key decisions, because so much happened in that match, it can be easy to forget some things, but particularly in that second half, there were a couple of decisions made by the referee. The first one was in relation to one of the Chelsea goals, where it came from a corner kick.
Yeah, it's this shot from Reece James edge of the box, and as soon as he hits it, you can tell, well, from the angle we've got, you can tell he's just not caught properly, and he's kind of shanked it wide. The resulting corner then, Rudiger goes and scores. You know, Real Madrid, they could complain about that, but the defensive, when they went to this, was really bad. But from a referee's point of view, you can't go back and change that because it's gone to a corner, and then also it's a hard decision for him. This one here, though, you know, Alonso does well, gets on the right foot, smacks in the top corner. You're thinking there's nothing wrong with it. In real time, it looks absolutely perfect. It's bounced back to him. He's got a bit of luck with the touch. But then when you slow right down, it bounces up, and it has the faintest of touches on his hand. And
you can barely see it.
You can't see it. But it's one of these things. Both of us are sitting here and we're going, that should absolutely count. 100% should count. It's crazy. But the law is the law, and that's the way the game is ruled now, and it doesn't count because it has. And if it interferes with the players throughout a goal scoring opportunity, if it touches his hand, it's disallowed. And it seems wrong, and for us, you're going, that's ridiculous that's happened. And maybe it's justice for the opportunity that they scored earlier, you know, maybe it's balanced itself out, but, you know, they should count. It doesn't because the law, and if they get it right, it's the right decision for VAR, and both decisions are right because they can't go back on them. So as much as they're talking points, they got them right on both occasions because they can't do anything about them because that's just the way it is.
Yeah, but see, that is the frustration, is it? In the handball rule does change all of the time. But if a player, even if it's accidental, handles the ball while immediately before directly scoring a goal, the rule says tough luck.
Yeah, ref has no choice once to see that in the video, and such that is the rule, so you can't blame him. He's just going on what he has to do. As he said, though, we ought to obviously, behind the scenes here, trying to look up that rule again because it changes so often. And the same on the corner one. You're thinking, can VAR not see that wasn't a corner? And once it goes out play and they go take the corner, he can't change it. Chelsea or Madrid should have defended it better anyway, you know, instead of moaning about the corner. But you could tell all their players knew it wasn't a corner. They were all arguing with the referee straight away. You could tell from here that it wasn't a corner. But listen, it moved on, defend the corner right, and in the other instance, I'd feel more hard done by if I was Chelsea and that goal, because, you know, any other time in history that would have been allowed and never been even noticed. You can barely see it in super slow motion.
Maybe next week it will again, because they change it so often. Thomas Tuchel says only one team deserved to go through, and that was Chelsea, Stephen.
They did in the 90 minutes, but when you talk about luck there, to be honest, all of their goals had a real element of luck about them. Like the goal, the corner, that shouldn't have been a corner. Werner's chance when he comes inside, if Courtois doesn't touch it, he clears it off the line and it takes a deflection and goes in. The first goal where Mount, literally Werner has no idea where the ball's going. It hits him and goes perfectly into Mount's mat. That's luck. So they rode the luck. They created chances. They didn't take them. Madrid were more clinical in the opportunities that they had because they didn't create as many. They were the better side over the 90 minutes. They created more chances. They were more energetic. They probably should have won the game. But luck has got nothing to do with it because they had the opportunities. They didn't. Their goals they scored came because of a little bit of luck. So, you know, the 3 goals they had, I think, were they got in the right positions, but the luck counted for them in those situations.
And let's not forget, it wasn't just over one leg this game either. And last week, Tuchel referred to Chelsea's opening half as the worst 45 minutes that they had played as well. Anyway, it's Real Madrid who go through. They will play the winners of Manchester City and Atletico Madrid.